This is Deborah Atkinson, and you're listening to Flipping 50, where I address your top questions and the things you struggle with most so you can have more energy and less decision fatigue about what to eat, how to move, and you can change your thoughts to Flip 50 with the life and the energy you love in this second half, which is all what we're all about in these 10 easy steps to more energy in our Flipping 50 summer series. And I'm almost sad that this is step 10 already. And we're here with Mind Rewire expert, Christy Mattoon, who's sharing her expertise as a healer and mentor. And we're on step 10, which is really about how to gain instant energy. So there is a quick fix in it for you today, a quick win. But today is pretty exciting because if you solve your stress symptoms of today, you can also be avoiding disease later. Christy, no pressure, but how are we going to do that?
This is a big order. And this is really how it works. We're finding more and more, the medical community to naturopaths, talking more and more about how the subconscious mind is really the elephant in the room of Western medicine. We are one of the only areas in the world that doesn't talk about how what we feel and how our emotions relate to our disease process. And so it's interesting when you start understanding that the things that have gone on in your past, the things from your childhood, the way you were treated, the emotions that you have hanging out in your system from those things over time cause disease and cause symptoms and issues. And we're really back into that whole thing of chemical composition again. If you came out of a home of turbulence, of trauma, of trial, of constantly being put down and those kind of things, you have a constant drip of cortisol and adrenaline in your system. One of the things I found out coming through my disease process was that is exactly what was going on. I had tried everything. I had hit 300 pounds. I had more autoimmune diseases than I care to even talk about. And when the medicines didn't work, the diet helped. I lost weight. I started feeling better. The exercise plan was amazing because I gained muscle mass and that started helping me feel better. What I found out, the lingering pieces that nobody could ever solve, and it was actually the lingering stuff that doctors told me I was crazy over, was feeling inflammation under my skin. My body would get inflamed for seemingly no reason, and nobody could figure it out. What it came back to was a stress that I had in my childhood. It came back to stressors that every time I would go get, they call it getting triggered, right? We get triggered and we go back down into our little cycles and patterns. Only now I wasn't going all the way through the cycle and pattern. All I was getting was the chemical composition back into my system that triggered my body to get inflamed. And figuring that part out made a huge difference. When I started being able to take care of what was causing the inflammation, because we take care of the inflammation, by taking turmeric, you're taking frankincense, you're doing all these great things that move inflammation, but then something happens and you're right back to inflamed again. My inflammation was coming out of the stress locked into my system from my childhood. It seems to happen with a lot of people, and when we take care of that stress, all of a sudden you'll start to see other symptoms and issues falling away that before hadn't been, you hadn't been able to do anything or touch them. When you're going through your life, and we just talked about this on another one of the segments here, was how to de-stress your day so that stress doesn't follow you forward. Even if it's a little stressor, if you leave that in your system over time and it starts to grow for whatever reason, you're giving yourself an injection on a constant basis. It's like a drip of cortisol and adrenaline into your system that over time will start to cause symptoms and problems. We know that cortisol in the system, when it's in there for a very long time, causes inflammation. It causes belly and gut problems, right? We relate it to belly fat. Even though some of that's probably not fat, it's probably inflammation. We relate it to heart disease and heart issues. So when you can take care and solve your stress symptoms, solve your stress issues, even if they're from your childhood home, get those taken care of, moving forward, the symptoms and diseases are easier to avoid. Now, of course, having said that, you have to keep your nutrition lined up. in this country, we know how poisonous our food supply is. We know about GMOs. None of this stuff is a secret anymore. So knowing how to keep your food in a healthy atmosphere, healthy space for your body makes a huge difference. One of the things that I do with people, and I'm starting a course right now, actually, where we're doing the mindset shifts, we're doing the subconscious work, but we're also doing a 6-month cleanse. It's a 21-day, or it's in 21-day sprints. And in these 21 days, we're literally cleaning out the system. I heard the other day there was a study done, and the guy was talking about the GMOs and how these toxins pile up inside your system. And so many people are trying to heal their gut issues. We're trying to repopulate our gut biome, that microbiome. And so many people are struggling with it and having problems with it. And what he found out was that, he would take urine samples from these people, and knowing that they had something like glyphosate in their system, but they weren't expressing it. So it was literally locked inside their liver. And his question was, how do you unlock that and get that moving out so that they can start to express it and get it out of their body? And what it came down to was just a good old-fashioned cleanse. You have to go through the process. And so that's what I'm doing with people now, because a lot of times if we don't clean the gut out, we can't help the head as much as we want to. Because your gut produces more chemicals than your head does. It produces more serotonin and dopamine than your brain does. And if your gut is locked out of itself, if it's locked up because it's got all these chemicals and things surrounded in it, your liver's locked up, it's not doing its job. I heard Dr. Newsom saying the other day that the biggest problem with thyroid isn't thyroid, it's liver. It's because your liver is storing all of these chemicals. So when we can cleanse that out, people start to see good resolve on their thyroid issues. And I thought, what a great combination, what a great thing to do. So I'm starting a new course where we're actually going to do all the mindset stuff, but during that 6-month period, we're also doing these 21-day sprints. And the reason we're doing them in 21-day sprints is to give your body a break in between. And that doesn't mean you can go eat and do whatever you want to do. It means you're doing some rest and getting your body into a place where it's feeling even better. So when we start the next release, whether it's liver, kidney, parasite, whatever it is, you can get through it easily. And the whole time we're doing that, we're also taking care of the mindset and making sure that the subconscious mind is in order. So that's kind of where I'm at with symptoms. If you can take care of your stress, your symptoms will start to go away. If something is stuck, you have to think 2 places. You have to think subconscious mind and you have to think gut. And if it's one of those 2 things, we definitely can have an effect. And that's the biggest thing right now that I'm seeing on that forefront. So people can contact me at my email at christy@mindrewire.com if they're interested in hearing more on that. And if you just want to go to my schedule desk, you're more than welcome to do that too, and book a little 30-minute appointment. And Deborah said she'll have the link down below, so you can just click there, and do that too.
Fantastic. So great takeaways from today, really being, look at what stress symptoms are present. And I think the important thing to relate to all of you listeners is, your stress symptoms are just that. Look at what's causing them, the underlying root cause. Look at what you can eliminate, what you can offset. And then, like Christy mentioned, those other top 2 things might be locked into your subconscious mind, might be in your gut health. And if you haven't thought of stress in that way, keep dialing into that fact. Stress is the full load. It's all of it. It's not a separate thing for your body to handle. It's the emotion. It's the relationship. It's the nutrition or the lack thereof. It's the exercise or the lack thereof, the sleep or the lack thereof. And it's all in this backpack that you're carrying. In each one of the things that you might be neglecting or negating is another brick in that backpack that just becomes too much of a load to handle. And that's why those stress symptoms begin to show up. But you want to be careful about taking the quick fix to eliminate or soothe the symptoms. And we really want to get to the root cause of it. Christy, I can't thank you enough for being here. I think you've hit on so many things. Is there anything else that one big takeaway, is there a question that you wish I would have asked you during the 10 episodes?
Oh my goodness, there was so much stuff. I don't even know. I would just say, if nothing else, know that you can change, know that things can be different. You have to take authority where you can take authority. Take ground that's yours, take your ground back. Keep yourself in that higher state of feeling that heals things. If cortisol makes it sick, oxytocin is going to make it feel better. It just is, right? If you don't believe me, let me help you get into the oxytocin and you can sit there and feel it. Sometimes you do have to train it back into your body because our bodies, because of the chemicals that we're eating, our bodies literally have forgotten how to do it. They've forgotten how to produce it. So we just have to turn that switch back on.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it and all the help. So thanks so much. If you're stuck, you're trying to work on the nutrition, the exercise, not quite coming together, don't forget these other pieces that you have at your power all the time. If you've got a question or a comment for me or for Christy, leave it below our show links at flipping50.com and join us on the Flipping 50 TV Facebook page to get all the juicy resources, all the links to all the 10 episodes for energy in this summer series. Find us at flipping50.com/podcast. And if you enjoyed the shows, please leave a rating in iTunes. It really helps. And then share this with a friend to surround yourself with a supportive community of women who are on the same journey. What are you waiting for? Start Flipping 50 today.